Hello, George here. I thought I'd demonstrate here the FizX In-Game Tweaker. And when you first start up the demo table, this is what you'll see. Then you press the special 1 key, and that will open up the tweaker, as you see here. And the first thing you see is the FizX Tweaker. It says you arrow up or down for options, and then you left and right for the settings. And so we'll go ahead and arrow down. And this is the first parameter here. And what you see here are 3 numbers, and they're currently all set to be the same value. And I'll explain here what they all are. The first one that has no name in front of it, that is simply the version of the number that is saved into memory. That is not actually saved anywhere on the computer. So it's basically like when you're typing on a word processor document, you are just typing along, and if you have not saved, it will go away if you close the document without saving your changes. Well, that's what will happen here as well. So what we're going to do here is this is what's called ramp up linearity, and we'll just arrow right, and you can see that you can change the values of that parameter in the first setting there. Now, what you can do is save, which is you press the S key, and I'll just go ahead and do that. And when you see, after you press it, you'll see that the 1.8 that's there now will be saved down into the startup. And that's what happened there. Now, suppose you decide, no, I don't want 1.8. Let's go back to the default. So what you can do is press D, as you see in the overlay that's above the DMD there. And you can press D, and that will change it back. Now you can see that startup is still 1.8. That's because the change to default values option does not save. It's just changing what's in internal memory. So if you want to save that, you can press the S key, and then there it is. It's saved to startup. And so another option there is you can change to startup values. Now let's go ahead and change this back, and we're going to save this to startup. And then we decided, well, we're going to tweak it some more. Like let's go, whoops. You could go up to like 3, and let's try that. And then you say, well, I don't like that. I am going to go back to startup value that I had saved before. And so all you do is type U. U is the what I selected to code that to, because I had already used a save for S. So U is basically the up in startup, and D, of course, stands for the default. Those are the 3 options, and that's essentially it, really. Each of these works the same way. They all up and down. You can just kind of left and right, and change them around, and like the torque and the angle and all this stuff, the omegas, and you just tweak them, and then you do it the same way. Those 3 options I showed you, S, U, and D, they all save all the parameters. So if you press those, it will save all of the changes you've made to any of the parameters, the U will change all of the parameters back to startup, and D will just change every parameter that's there back to default. It doesn't just do the one that you're working on at the time. So we can just keep going on down, and I don't really know a whole lot about these options. I do know the slingshot is an important one that controls your settings on the slingshot. And we keep going down here, and then finally we're down here to some different options. Now this is an option that Terry Red added to JAWS, and so we added it onto the tweaker here. And basically that is the exact same option as D. When you press D, that does the exact same thing, only you don't have to press D. You can just arrow left or right, and you'll get, say it's been reset. And then, there is a note there at the bottom that says that it has not saved, and so you need to save. So you either press S, like it shows there on the overlay, or you can arrow down twice, and there's save. So so you can arrow left or right here, and there you are. The settings have all been saved. And then you can just arrow down if you want to, and then you start back up at the beginning. Those save options are at the very end of the list, so when you arrow down at that point, it starts back at the beginning. And so there is this other option that I went past fairly quickly, but it's the save to startup, and and that does the same thing as the U key, and you just arrow left or right, and there you save. There you have it. Everything's been reset to startup, and then if you want to save, you just arrow down, and you left or right, and then there it is. You save. That is basically it in a nutshell. The save functions are a little bit involved because you have to convert everything to a two-digit number. So we end up doing some little multiplication, addition, or subtraction, or division, and make it before we save. Like if you start out with a 1, you can add 10 to it, or 9, and it'll bring it up to a two-digit number. And then when you do that before you save, and then after you save, you subtract the 10. So you get your same number back that you had entered in. And that's how we ended up doing all the two-digit numbers. This whole tool was developed by Gimli, and he went off and had to work on his house, and so I started doing some of the stuff. I was actually the one that figured out how to save all these numbers to a two-digit, and there's an Excel file that I've included in the download, and you can play with that if you need to change these values. But please, if you see some kind of problem that you can't, if you can't, these end up like this, the lowest value you can enter on EOS angle is a 1.0, and you can go up to 9.9. So if you need a different range for these, let us know, and we can probably figure something out. And that concludes this video. Thank you for watching.